Hey everyone, Giacomo here. I thought I'd come up with this video to basically explain, why is it people think YouTube videos, why are they watching? Why and how does a video go viral? It has to be something you've never seen before, something you're going to learn, something you're going to see that's rare. Obviously, these different reasons are what causes a YouTube video to get popular. Well, what I'm going to show you today is a YouTube video that's going to have something very different that you're going to learn that will qualify it as that real distinct video. Like, wow, how is he saying that? Okay, well, really, it comes down to when you miss something that's so relevant to our biological structure, and that would be the connections of blood arteries to sweat gland. Plenty of it on my book, on my personal page on Facebook. Science diagrammed the actual connections but never spoke about it. I'm going to teach you and tell you today how sweating occurs from physical exertion. Something they never explained because they wouldn't have been able to explain it unless they saw those connections and paid attention to them and thought some relevancy to them as opposed to thinking they meant nothing. I don't know if we can see them. Right there. Okay, red and blue plugged into a sweat gland, a hose, the open pore. It's exactly like a regular hose. As you pump the pressure, like if you were pumping a pump, that's your heart rate. As you're going harder, it's going to send pressure into the open hose and send water out. We're all water, guys. It comes down to our brain, lungs, heart, our vital organs. That's what we are. Our brain especially, they're all made of water. Obviously, we're not paying quite too much attention to a God-given mechanism that should be used to keep our organs pure and which we live lives a lot longer. We're talking really here in the Bible times, biblical times, people lived hundreds of years. We are capable of living a couple hundred years old and looking different, okay? And this is the relevancy of the power cycle and this discovery. So what are we going to do about it? We got to make it go mainstream. So science and the communities and even the pharmaceuticals out there embrace the body and how it can self-heal and how things are being detriment to our health from lack of recognition on how to use an exit strategy for bad elements that are known to be poisonous to your body. Things are causing heart disease. Triglycerides are fats in blood. They're in sweat. We're talking about pulling water from your cells. There's a diagram in my video that shows a pond of water around the cells in a blood vessel open that stays idle when people don't exercise. But if you raise your heart rate, there's like a little bit of a current between the blood vessel, which is open, and the area around the cells with the water, and you're going to force water into your blood and out to the sweat gland, which is purification of the water in and around your cells and your blood. Can't get much bigger than that, guys. Salt, sodium, heavy metals, sugars, triglycerides, they're all in a liter of sweat in micrograms and small measurements, okay? Of course they're going to be in small measurements. Look at the connections they're coming out of. They're tiny. But so what? They add up. And that's what we've missed as a whole in society. Again, it's just a matter of not having put the attention where it belongs. What's in it for you? I mean, do you care if you live to 100 and 150? No, probably not by today's standards, but if you're still staying the same way you are today, or slowing that progression quite a bit, then of course you want to live longer, okay, and double your lifespan if you can be mobile and healthy. And that's what this does. It flushes the water out of your body, hits targets of sweat, and absolutely keeps your cells getting healthier by taking the good elements from food, beverages, whatever it may be, and stealing the good out of everything and getting rid of the bad in one process. This is what it was meant to be. We'll take a quick break, come right back. Hey guys and gals, I'm back. How you doing? Okay, let's I've had a lot of passion the last few days just thinking about how big of an oversight this is, these connections. I'm sorry I keep harping on it, but when it's never been talked about in the world, China, Japan, Italy, Russia, United States of America, you name the country, it has not been recognized, and we know everything about the body. Yet we don't know that our blood connections to the sweat glands exist, and the true meaning of how we raise our heart rate and blood circulation to force water from our cells and organs and blood to the outside world, because we miss these connections. They knew sweating only as a form of cooling the body down when hot, which is the temperature-based excretion sweat. That's one angle of sweating. The true angle is the one here with the pressure coming as your heart rate goes higher. Okay? I can't emphasize enough how 9 out of 10 people are suffering deaths early, way too early, and their whole body is diminishing so fast from accepting and not being aware of this, and not accelerating the physical body into movement past an hour when they get older, and doing things to create these deep sweats. These connections prove we've missed the boat. Just think about it. Just think about it. If you were to come up with one thing as a magician to solve heart disease and cancer and diabetes, I don't know, I think you might say connect some outlets to our bodies that purify our blood and organs to eliminate the risk. And that's what we got. Our creator is already a step ahead of us. That's the wonderful part. All right, so the fact remains the same, exists, that we've failed to recognize a major component of our biological layout, which is critical to our health long term. Okay? We need to get with it. We need to get scientists talking about what this means, verifying how I've tied everything together by luck. And sometimes you got to get lucky, because the harder you work, the luckier you get. And that was the case here with me, because this oversight was even done by me. I had this diagram before I published my book and chose to eliminate it from my book for some reason, because I looked at it like a skin diagram as well. The layers of the epidermis. I saw the sweat gland. I didn't pay attention to even the artery and the vein plugged into that sweat gland, the red and blue, and going out to an open hose. It's just incredible. And then when I learned about where the most open pores are in your body, factually, go do a Google search, Wikipedia, Medicalpedia. The forehead has the most open pores. The front of the neck, and then the back. And then it goes to palms of your hand. Those areas are right next to your brain, right next to your heart, right next to your lungs. Those are the largest carriers of water in your body. Brain, heart, lungs. Second to the cells, area around the cells and blood. Doesn't it make sense? This is a pump. You've got the separate connections from the heart going to each organ. And then when you raise your heart rate, it sends pressure to the organ, and the organ has another set of arteries and veins going to the sweat glands that pushes out water, so it purifies it just like a regular pump. This is crazy. This is so real. This is unbelievable. We've all known sweating's good for you, running's good for you, but we haven't known how the sweating system really works through your own hard effort and sustained effort and drawing the water out of your blood and cells. It is the water from your cells and blood. How much more can you say? Has anybody talked about a true water and cell purification through its main ingredient, water? That's what we're made of. That's what the main ingredient is. We're going to recirculate it and carry out the harmful stuff that will build up. It's just like a logical, easy thing. So I'm urging the leaders of the world, our own President-elect, Donald Trump, step up, give me a chance to speak in public, talk more about what I've discovered, the revelations I've made in my book, Revolutionary Power Cycles, The Science of Sweat. Let me talk to you about how our body is absolutely factually accumulating deadly toxins on a daily basis from our diet and air. We know this. Science has proven it already. There's a listing of the most toxic and dangerous elements from the Agency of Toxic Substances and Disease Registry. Lead, nickel, mercury are all top ranked, first three. They're in your sweat. the connections from blood to sweat glands have been overlooked. It all makes too much sense. But you know what? I was fortunate enough to be in this position. I'm promising you this is going to be the biggest health discovery of our time. The biggest. Because it was the biggest oversight. And now that we look back and understand how our body works, we will force the actions, force the movements to create this pump and draw it out, the harmful stuff, so people can live young, clean, healthy lives for a couple hundred years. I'm sorry to say, but this is what I think is the case, and it will be proven over time. Okay, I'll be 50 just in 18 months. I'll be 49 July 31st. I feel great as I'm actually running more miles in a shorter time. My power cycle is simply 4 to 7 miles of walking and running. It's like a soccer player workout. Everybody can do it. You can stop to a walk at any time. It's like playing soccer. You ever see soccer players? What do they do? They walk around, look at each other, or they run, and they run really fast, and they come back, and they stop for a second, and they do it for an hour and a half with a half time. Why can't you walk, run fast, stop, walk, run fast? You can. Everybody can. They just trap their minds. So we got to get with our bodies, okay? We're meant to run. We're meant to sweat. Look, okay? Now listen, if you can't walk and run, I understand, but there's a lot of things you can do for an hour to draw your heart rate up. And punch, get your heart rate for an hour to get the sweat going, to get your circulation, letting out these harmful things. Triglycerides are the fats in blood. They are factually causing heart disease. They're the fats in blood. What do fats do in blood? Well, they travel around in your heart, and they're fat, so they clog up, right? Wouldn't you want to draw them out through a hose just by raising your heart rate? Well, I guess if you knew about these connections that somehow were missed, we would be doing it. But it's time to do it now. Revolutionary power cycles, Giacomo Fasano. I struck gold. I hijacked the rainbow and ran into a pot of gold here. Thank you, Bon Jovi. Come on, are we kidding me here? We have 8 million hoses connected to our cells and blood water. And our blood is building out with sugars, salts, and heavy metals. 9 out of 10 people aren't doing anything. This is why our bodies are deteriorating. You can't dump lead, nickel, mercury, arsenic, sodium in your body in trace amounts from your diet and air and food for 3, 4, 5 decades and expect it to stay the same with all that water in your cells. You gotta recirculate your water to clean it out. It's just common sense, guys. Get with this. This is too easy. I'm getting a little excited because I've been holding a lot of emotions. Okay? This book it hasn't been selling, but that's fine with me. I said to everybody, it's a lifelong commitment I made to this book. God has chosen me to deliver his messages. It's all facts and logic. Eventually, when people jump on board with me and start to argue like lawyers do to a judge and jury and get the facts out there, and he can't argue with the facts, then we'll see what's happening, okay? But this is what's causing all the illnesses out there, allowing our blood to be backed up with these harmful stuff that we can draw out in tiny, tiny microgram and milligram quantities. But guess what? Those are the same size as they come into your body. Trace in, trace out. It's in my book. They come in, trace out. You got to fight the war at the same pace that they're fighting you. You don't believe in toxin accumulation in the body? Come on, let's get real here. Lead, nickel, and sodium are killing everybody. Look at athletes. Once again, look at athletes. Why? In their 30s, they look healthy. Goes, yeah, they're running and sweating. They're drawing out the lead, nickel, and sodium. I'm making you a short list here, guys. When all is said and done, this is going to be way bigger than just lead, mercury, arsenic. It's going to have all kinds of things in there. Fluoride, okay, tin, I don't care, aluminum. The breasts are another organ in females. The heart has veins and arteries going to the breasts, and the breasts have separate connections to the sweat glands. So you literally, if you don't run and sweat, you're going to trap the water in your breasts and the element metals in there, and you risk breast cancer, in my opinion, a higher chance of it. Okay? It's logic. Come on. Lead's a metal, mercury. Mix it with flesh for years. What happens? A growth of some sort. A changing of the cells, some brain, outwardly growing differently because of the influence of a toxin. Does that not make too much sense? Okay, let's just relax here, Giacomo. Everybody's great. We're going to get it. I love life. I love spirituality and God. The forces that be are wonderful gods. They're great to us. They give us a little bit of obscurity, a little bit to test us, to see if we can be resilient. But overall, we've got it greatly made. Okay? People have it a lot less fortunate than most. And if you can walk and you can run, you should be, or you should be moving. Okay? So because you don't want to go down these paths of heart disease and cancer like we've seen so many of our family members. Okay? It's just sad. Okay? This is logical. This is very logical. Cleaning your water of your body. We're machines. We're like machines, Ferraris. You have to do maintenance to cars, right? You can't just not do maintenance. Well, this is the maintenance to our machines, is emptying out its water, reverse filtering it out through a process that is absolutely fascinating. You just got to raise your heart rate and force circulation to sweep through all your cells, and the water that's married and integrated seamlessly. In my video, you see the water in the cell and a blood vessel open. That is like a pond that stands still with most people. When you raise your heart rate and run, that circulation is creating a current around that water in your cells and the blood vessel opening. And that water is going to be shared and flow out to guess where? Yeah, the open pore. So, and what happens in that sweat gland? It's sending back the blood platelets and just water and salt coming out. This is going to get developed. This is big. It's exciting. Okay, and I'm excited that people are going to become more spiritual by working hard through their cardio. You meditate, you release endorphins, you release sweat, you have a high calorie burn, power cycle, power 3, you get into that gold zone, you feel unbelievable, and you live your life in a better way, okay? Let's take a break again. I think we need one. I'm just a little too excited. It's dinner time anyways. Okay, Giacomo, we're back. Revolutionary power cycles, the science of sweat. We're talking the science of sweat and how that actually occurs and how it's never been a big deal till today. And it's got to change because the whole world is unhealthy. The whole world doesn't know the significance of a system that's designed to keep you healthy. So let's get with it. Let's start to understand the power of water in our own body and how it can take things and control our health for us if we pay attention and do the right things. And that all involves moving your body and moving it for a while, over an hour, so you sweat and you drive this pressure out of your whole entire body. Okay. What do you have to do? You gotta get with the knowledge of what is coming into your body from food, air, beverages, everything. Okay, our skin is exactly that. Our inner organs is flesh. Our body is water. These things are metals and elements. They don't coincide with the human body. Hence, as we're young, we're pure, and as we get older and accumulate them, it's like chocolate milk. You put more milk mix in it, you keep mixing it, it gets more chocolatey, right? It's changing the substance because it's something added to the base. Our water in our body was pure. It continues to be not pure from the environment we're in and the necessities we have. However, God foresaw that, and He gave us the power of sweat glands, millions of them, the ability to move hard and extract water and be healthy. Let's do it. Let's pay attention to the details of both my book and what it means to control your health and live a happy life full of spirituality from performing exercises that are long in time frames, over an hour, to produce the power cycle big 3. Big 3 are, endorphin release for happiness and spirituality, high calorie burn for your metabolism, and of course the high sweat total to remove the element metals out of your body that it wants to get rid of. Okay? Those are the big 3. Revolutionary power cycles, Giacomo Fasano. Thank you for your minute in time. Check out my videos on my YouTube. They're animation videos from animations.vids.com. Thank you for your time.